Very calm. Another racer starting outside the top group needs to pick up some points today. Struggling to keep up with him with the cameraman. Hopefully, once he gets to grips with this next course, he'll find and be able to be a bit smoother with this camera work. 37 hundredths now in front. This is a very good skiing because Valkvist didn't make a mistake until the lower part of the run, did he? So let's see if he's able just to keep this next section clean. This is where the mistakes crept in from our leader Valkvist, and Pisato going very, very well through that section, which saw Valkvist losing lots of time. Now, can he keep it clean and tidy? Good work in those steep transitional turns. And this is the lead by over a second, 1.09 ahead. Pisato sets the new target time to 25.49. See if he can move his way up the order. Highest bib number to qualify onto the second round is this man. Rider Sarchet has 15 hundredths of a second of an advantage over our new leader. Stefano Pisato put down a very clean, tidy run. You have to say the door not open. It isn't a case of ski clean and you get to the bottom in the lead, which has been the case for the 2 out of the opening 3. Let's see if Sarchet can continue what was great skiing on the first run to move up from 4 to its second highest bib. Make it into riders down. Real shame. Look at that huge bib number, second highest to qualify in, fails to make it through to the finish. This hill is unforgiving. You lose body position. Okay, it just came over slightly too much on the inside speed, not committing long enough to his outside, and your day ends just as quick as that. There's our leader at the moment, Pisato. Doesn't look very happy with his run, does he? No, thumbs down. Oh, you don't be quite so grumpy, mate. You're leading, and you've got bib 45 on your shoulders. So I think we all want to be the best in the world, but it's about steps in the right direction, and that will be a good run come the end. Back to the top as we wait to see. That is Albert Ortega waiting for his opportunity. But next in the start is the highest number to qualify for the second run. It is Peder Lunde, the Norwegian team. Norway sitting in second position with Valkvist in second. And here we go. He has a 1500th second advantage over our leader. Losing his outside ski on those steep turns, and again on the outside ski, not getting that separation. It's still very compact underfoot as we see Lunde. I think he can find the speed now because he's made a couple of mistakes early doors, really needs to heed the warnings. The fact is you need to stand on your outside ski a little bit stronger, still more scrappy turns, but very quick thinking, just about managed to stay in line and stay on track. A couple of times the skis have got away from them and been able to pick up those positional errors. Half a second now behind, coming in towards that next time intermediate. Some more big errors from bib 54, highest number to make it in, finds himself even further off now, 0.77 behind, and a bit scrappy on this second one. Real shame because firing into 20, what was he after the first run? 26th position. Real shame. Found some time on the closeout, goes into second position. Our leader, still Stefano Pisato. Now Peder Lunde in second. Valkvist in third position. And Alberto Battisti, first racer down, ripped a couple of those sections and making big mistakes down the bottom. Albert Ortega in the start. A little fluttering still. Breeze was present on the first run. Looks like it hasn't subsided here in Andorra. What's he got? 0.2 of a second advantage over Pisato that still leads. Trying to get early pressure, especially on these tough opening turns. Gives yourself a good feeling. And then wants to try and dial it in and go direct. He comes off the steep onto the flat. Not too bad from Ortega. What's he got? Finding himself 0.27 behind. Still in touch. twisted slightly, but still a run full of attack, full of charge is Ortega. Now down to the next time intermediate. Oh, how's it going? Looks like it's not quite as fluid. Finds himself losing a decent chunk, now over a second behind, and more two direct lines that are just a bit too straight. Lots of work happening after the gate for Ortega as you see him come over towards this final time intermediate. Needs to try, oh, he's not going to make up that sort of time over Pizzotto, who still leads in the finish area. Heidi down the bottom, but all the work coming after the gate still as he comes down through these last couple of turns. Not bad positioning on the skis, timing just a miss from Ortega, and into fourth position. Top three unchanged after Ortega's run. Big spray. Look at how much pressure right at the end of the turn. To try and tidy that up a bit. Simon Telaki, 24th place after the first run, 0.22 the advantage over his teammate, but from bib 8, started very early on in that first run, didn't get into grips with this run, and will be trying to put down a bit of a flyer to march himself back up the order. Late again, you can see the outside ski not really gripping into the ice. How costly could that be as he comes down towards the first time indicator? Very costly. Look at that, 0.6 of a second loss. You could see that he was scrappy through the opening turns, but it didn't look 0.6 bad. More drifts. The Italians, that drift and punch style that they're sort of known for, especially with the likes of Viali Prandini doing it so prevalently on the World Cup. Obviously the quickest of the Italian giant slalom skiers in the world with that podium that he picked up already on World Cup Tour this season. The Italians love that type of style. So risky because a fraction of a second too much of a drift at the top of the turn means that you're slowing yourself down far too much. And you have to say for Telaki, struggling with that timing again, coming towards the steep, and a tough performance that he put down in the first run. It looks like he's having another tough time on the second run. Telaki gets to the bottom, going to find himself a long way down, 1.44 into fourth position. A long way behind his teammate, Stefano Pizzotto. Still leads for the Italian team. He's marched up 4 positions on the second run. There is the leader. Flanked by 2 Norwegians, Lundo with 54 on the left as we look at it, and then Jesper Valkvist on the right-hand side. Norway back in the start gate. Hans Grau Madsen, 23rd after the first run, quarter of a second the advantage that he holds over our leader. Would have had a couple of reports from the likes of Valkvist and Lunda, and he puts those reports into practice as he comes down now off the steep onto the flat. Already those top turns won't feel quite as smooth. The ruts at the top, little judders will have formed, making it more difficult for these racers to find purchase early in the turn. 0.04 of a second, the difference between Graal Madsen and Pizzotto. Oh, off that first split, but a big error down the bottom, surely going to cost him some speed. A crucial place to make the error, not the place to make an error, just coming onto the flat turns. Yeah, and that's where all of that time has gone. One error on the flats can see plummet down the order, 1.32 behind. The top 3 separated by 1.09. So if Graal Madsen can find something down these last few turns, he's chipped away, he's found 300th, but it needs to find a bit more. Needs to really put the hammer down these last few turns if he wants to try and push his way up onto a provisional podium, but still a long way to go in this European Cup. Down through the last couple of turns, 4th position, 1.34 behind. Still, Italy with Pizzotto out in front. This was where that error crept in. Really costly place, because look how hard he's had to ski up the hill just before the flat. "22nd after the first run is bib number 40, Joshua Sturm, the only Austrian in the top 30 in a European Cup giant slalom. Now that is mad. Back in my day, the Austrians would have had 10 at least in the top 30. Easy peasy on a European Cup. The depth was so tight for the Austrian ski team. Not quite the same depth at the moment. Joshua Sturm, the only man in that top 30 from the Austrians. But the Austrians have set the course. They'll be hoping to find something, a little secret maybe, that Joshua Sturm can find a bit of extra time. He's lost 0.46 he had at the start over Pisato. Now finds himself 200ths of a second down. Can he stop the rock? Because it's going the wrong way at the moment for Sturm. Lost another few hundredths, down to 1300ths of a second behind now. Very calm, very relaxed looking. Needs to work well over the terrain. That's pretty smooth. Last time indicator coming up for Sturm. What's he got? He's found some time. 1500ths of a second behind from bib 40. Trying to get himself onto the top step at the provisionally as he comes down now. Last couple of turns before that transition. And not a bad closeout. Can he get the lead? He's got the lead. Found some time in those last 7 or 8 turns to set the new target. 2:25.22. Pushes Pisato down finally off the top step of the podium. Struggled with a bit scrappy skiing at the top of this second run, but then really did get into the groove. And Joshua Sturm from bib 40 leads after 9 races. Eric Reed into the start gates and out of the start gate. He's only got 500ths of a second advantage after the first run over our new leader, Joshua Sturm. Let's see what Reed can do. He's got points on the board so far this season. Only 1 score, though, in giant slalom. Good work early on, nice and fluid. Quite on every gate, but certainly getting some good moves with those opening turns. And that's why he finds himself with a massive advantage. But it was from here where we just saw that little bit of extra from Joshua Sturm. And that final section, specifically for Sturm, was exceptional. Reed going well through these mid-turns. Lovely fluid skiing over the rolls. Looking again, calm, cool, relaxed, as you are so often seeing from him. But look at that. He's lost 0.6 of a second. Man, oh man. Eric Reed can't find the pace in that middle part from Sturm. But Sturm went very quickly all the way through this section. He's lost another 10, 0.23 down at the moment for Reed. Needs a monumental closeout if he wants to get himself up onto a provisional top step. From bib 46, though, he's going to get himself some handy points and found some time. Good ski to that lower part into second. 1200ths of a second behind. Pushes Lunda off the provisional opponent. Pisato, who led for such a long time, in third position. And Eric Reed now slots just behind Joshua Sturm. Marco Fischbacher, the next racer, 20th after the first run, 1100ths of a second to lead over Joshua Sturm. Sturm, again, in some scrappy turns up top, some big drifts from Fischbacher, staying right on the line with the help of those drifts. But is that going across them any time? Sturm left the door open on that top split. Fischbacher's only managed to gain 1/10 of a second. You saw Reed put down 1/2 a second on Sturm on that top section, whereas Fischbacher not quite able to do the same. 1/4 of a second ahead. This is the crucial time indicator. 700ths lost nearly 3/10, or just over 3/10 of a second. Accurate as he comes over this next roll. Oh, big drift though. That's just chipping away at that lead. Hard over his outside ski. A lot of commitment needed through these last couple. He's carrying a lot of speed through the finish. What's he got into third position? Reed hangs on to second. Sturm still leads. Fischbacher, good closing turns. Finds himself in third. Pisato finally off the podium after a big march up the second run for the Italian. Fischbacher, good skiing, maybe, just maybe, not risking quite enough on that second run. Stefan Lutz into the gates. 19th after the first run, 0.22 his advantage. Former World Cup winner. Plenty of World Cup points and podiums against this man's name through his career. It's been a little while since he's been at that form, but great to see that he's still got that determination to charge down the European Cup Tour as well as battling his way down World Cup. Quite fluid enough on those opening turns, but as we said, with a 0.2 advantage, then should find some more time. He does, out to 3/4 of a second for Stefan Lutz. Needs to stay on it here. Needs to keep with that risk. Couple of little drifts at the top of the turn as he tries to stay on top of the line. We didn't see too much of that from Sturm, and that's why Sturm's lower 2/3 of the run was so quick. And that's why Stefan Lutz has lost time. Still got a green light, importantly, though. 1400ths of a second. As we come towards the next indicator, this one needs to be there or thereabouts. 800ths now. Still got a chance of leading a Stefan Lutz, but these turns very late in the racing line. How risky is he able to ski through these closing turns? Big drifts at the top of the turn as well. As Stefan Lutz really charges, tries desperately to get the better of Sturm, but he's missed it. He's cautious skiing in that final run towards the finish. He'll be really frustrated when he looks back at the time splits, because some good skiing through that run has not been rewarded because of these extra drifts down the bottom of the run. Lutz down to 5th. 18th after the first run. Mikkel Remzi had 3/10 of an advantage over Sturm after the first run. The advantage at the top of the run starting to get very healthy indeed. Good work coming down off those steep turns. Needs to be, well, he's only managed to find 1/10 of a second, and you consider Stefan Lutz was up at 0.74 at this stage and still managed to lose it. You know that Remzi needs to be a bit closer, needs to really charge down through these middle turns and start taking a few more risks. Pitched over the front, quickly fixes it up. What's the next split saying? And, lost all that time, which is why you needed to build up more at an advantage. Gets pitched over the front again. Cross-blocking GS panels. It's not parallel. As comes now. Needs to cut those mistakes out if he wants to try and squeeze himself up into a decent performance when he gets to the finish line. But the errors proving costly against the clock. As Remzi, last few turns to take in, but damage looks like it's already been done for the Norwegian. And down into 6th position. Really frustrating. There you go, you can see, just got caught out over the rolls, then pitched over the front. Cross-blocking panels.
I had one where I got wide, and then 2:26.08. When you're like that.
Back up to the top. Bib 12 is Simon Stelag next one for 17th after the first one. 0.42. The advantage looking very, very comfortable at the top. But nobody has been able to match Sturm from basically the halfway point to the bottom. Good intensity from Stelag. And that intensity rewarded. Finds an extra couple of tenths of a second. Early transitions is the key. Pushed onto the heels. Just about staying on line. Clattering gates left, right and centre. As Selag's throwing caution to the wind. Next split is crucial. Can he keep the green light? Needs, I don't know, at least 3/10. You have to say 2/10 is where he ends up being. Oh no! Oof, snapped on him very quickly there, didn't it? Losing the outside ski slightly, then comes back underneath him. No outside ski, massive pressure all at once and high-sided out it. Thankful that you're young, my friend, because that could do a lot of damage to your knees. Thankfully, it looks like he's going to ski away from that one. That's going to be a good day in the office for Sturm and Reed, from bib 40 for Sturm and 46 for Reed. First and second, the guaranteed top 20s in this European Cup race. Stefan Lutz will be very frustrated when he looks back at that time in intermediate. That top split going very well, then cautious turns really proving so costly. Obviously, a quality result here, you have to say, for Lutz. Samuel Bissig, 47 hundredths of a second, the advantage he holds in the start gate over our leader Joshua Sturm. Points in World Cup on multiple occasions, but not so far this season for Bissig. Oh, lovely early switch to that right turn, but then gets caught out with a late transition to the right. A lot of risk on these early turns. Not quite got the timing just yet, and that's why he's lost time. against Joshua Sturm. We haven't seen anybody keep pace with Sturm from this point to the bottom. So Bissig will need something special if he wants to try and get the better of our Austrian leader. The only Austrian racer that's really putting their hand up in the air for a good performance here today. The Austrian coaches have set a tough course that only really Sturm has found the answer to on the lower, well, 2/3 in reality. 800ths of a second behind now for Bissig. Up to 15, still doable, but it has to be perfect. As Bissig, plumes of snow, extra plumes of snow, as he tries to find the clean line. And how costly are the plumes? 0.35 behind. 6th position. Oof, too scrappy for Bissig. A lot of strength and power in Bissig's legs, but not able to put it down cleanly. Sturm sees off another. There's our leader. That's Andrei Drukarov. Picked up a victory on the European Cup toy earlier to the end of January. As we take a look at Cooper Puckett. 0.48 the American holds over the Austrian leader. Slightly late, but just keep an eye on the snow. Doesn't look like he's picking up a lot of snow. And he finds some time, needs to find some time, really. He's found some. He's only found 200ths of a second, and he's down and back up very quickly. Almost guaranteed that green light's going to turn to red now with that type of error. Needs to throw caution to the wind after that big mistake. Next time, intermediate, how costly is that error going direct through these turns? Very costly. Now 3600ths behind. Lot of work to do from the American. Nobody's kept pace with Sturm from here on in. And so Puckett needs to find the absolute perfect run. Wind kicking up. You can see it pushing up into the air. Showing that it's still very, very breezy here. 6/10. Anything to be found on these last few? No, 0.78 into 7th position. Another racer losing time. Right, 14 to go. Next into the start gate is Delio Kunz of the Swiss team. 14th after the first run. Half a second now, the advantage. Still nobody's got close to Sturm. Sturm's held the lead. He's moved up 7 places on the second run. The Austrian game plan worked very well, and it's going to work again here because Kunz has had a disaster. It's an absolute nightmare right out of the gate, and not going to have too much luck if he continues with stuff like that. Somehow still got a green light, considering the huge errors that he's put in, and more big errors as we cut a bit lower down the track. Working with the terrain, crucial through these rolling middle sections. And he knows he's made mistakes, so he's risking everything. And whilst risking everything, not finding the touch at all. 1.14 behind. And more plumes. Flipped up into the air. Oh, more times, and he's down and out finally. The sort of writing was on the wall from the get-go, really. Somehow managed to find the strength, but it's a lot of power needed to make those types of recoveries from top to bottom for Kunz. Not to be out. Sturm, Reed and Fischbacher see off yet another racer. Edward Hallberg. 0.54. 13th after the first run. His form on the slalom skis. An exceptional. Lighting up the World Cup Tour with the top 10 in his first season. Giant slalom form. Not quite there on the World Cup Tour as he's... Oh, and Hallberg down on his inside ski from bib 41. Another exceptional performance, but errors like they do in slalom present in his GS skiing. finds himself, well, somehow still with a green light, but all of that advantage basically disappeared in a moment for Hallberg. And it happens again, another time with a DNF against his name. Another opportunity gone, you have to say, from bib 41 into 15. Opportunities to pick up more points disappear in the blink of an eye for Hallberg. Sturm still leads. The Austrian game plan on run number 2 absolutely played to perfection. Sturm still leads with 12 to go. Livio Simone next into the gates, and the advantage getting sizable. 0.64 Simone has. As we are taking a look at how things stand, Joshua Sturm still leads, and he's moved up 9 places. Eric Reed with a great second run. Look at those 2 bibs from bib 40 and 46 still into the great performances. Those are going to end up converted to top 15s. Could they even be top 10s? And how far up the order could they find themselves? Back to the top, though. Livio Simone, 0.64 of a lead, 12th after the first run. Good early commitment to that right foot. Oh, this is looking aggressive, looking nice, just slightly on his inside ski on a couple of turns there. Very, very risky. You can see the couple of cross wraps there, making the ski rattle and chatter across the icy snow surface. This is good skiing. Now finds himself a 1/10 of a second extra in front. To nearly 3/4 of a second. This is the same advantage that we saw from Stefan Lutz. And Lutz then, with cautious skiing, much like what we just saw there, some plumes of snow as drift sideways, cost him the chance of leading. Need to see something a little bit cleaner from Simone. Gets caught on the flat, just about managing to stay on the right side, but he's thrown it all away. Much the same that we saw from Lutz. Still got a green light. That's the important thing, but more big drifts, and the big drifts, that means speed being bled away, and that means deficit on the clock. He's gone again. Another racer that's found himself with huge advantage. Can't convert the huge advantage, and now finds himself way down and across the 9 into 8th position. 0.79 back. Well, there's not. The snow conditions are perfect. Yes, there's some drifts in there. There's some ruts, some judder ruts in there, but the snow surface is great. It's not the snow surface being the difference here. It's the athletes not quite able to find out how to implement their technique down this hill. Simon Marburg at 11th after the first run. Look at this advantage. It's 0.83 of a second. Lots of experience on Marburger's shoulders. Plenty of World Cup point scores through his career. Can he use that experience to finally somebody get the better of Joshua Sturm, who's led for 10 races already? 10 have tried and failed after him, and he's still marching up the order. Let's see what we've got now. Lost a bit of time. 0.68 behind. Needs to keep those drifts to a minimum. Work with the terrain, work with the rollers here. Early position over the skis. Comes towards the next time indicator. Man, oh man, what are they doing through this section? Nobody but absolute lightning quick turns from Joshua Sturm. And you have to say, not quite able to find the purchase right at the top of the turn. It means you're just losing that connection. And when you get the judders, if you lose that connection at the top of the turn, the skis chatter across the ruts, and time gets bled away. Now down to these last couple. Marburger fails to depose Joshua Sturm and drops down, 0.67 behind. The 1, 2, 3 has stayed that way for quite a long time. Joshua Sturm still leads. Eric Reed from bib 46 into 2nd position. And Marco Fischbacher, there they are, still in 3rd position. 10 still to go. And the advantage, surely somebody's going to take advantage of having such a big time on your side. Matthias Roengren, 10th after the first run. Really big time gap to the top now. 8.7 of a second, nearly 9/10. He holds over Sturm, going direct. Oof. He's working well after him. Let's see. Need to find him with an advantage. Need to find him, really find some time, and he has found some time. 1.19 of a second, nearly 2/10, but Sturm was so smooth through here. Roengren really needs to take all of the risks, cuts the line nicely. How's he getting on through the rolls? Next split coming. Lost a lot of time, but still got advantage of over half a second. Keep that wrist back to ski deep. Stay committed. Little bit wide in the line. Oh, point down to 0.27. Trying to stay high. This is looking aggressive. Can it go close? Bit of a drift as he comes through some of these fall away turns. Needs to start dialing in the line straight. Needs to start charging. How comes Roengren? And our leader, finally a new leader. Matthias Roengren finds the line down the closeout and finds some time as well. Really good run from Roengren. Pushes Joshua Sturm off the top step finally. Sturm moved up 11 places. Eric Reed now down to third. Matthias Roengren sets the new target time with only 9 left to go. Oscar Andreas Sandvik, 18 hundredths of a second. Now down to a normal advantage. 9th after the first run for Sandvik. Ooh. You asked about managing to find that grip on the outside ski. Got very far away from his body on a couple of those right footers. 200ths of a second. Now the deficit. Early transitions to those left-footed fall-aways. Nicely worked. Well, position. Not sure it's got the same fluidity as the Swede. Well, he's answered. He's told me I'm wrong. As Sandvik manages to find some time, found 0.4 of a second against Roengren. Roengren threw a couple of big drifts over these breakovers, and that's where Sandvik has managed to find some time and really aggressive, really, right onto the heels though. Some early switches, some big plumes of snow late in the run as Roengren tries to hold on to it, but it's a big advantage that's gone from Oscar Sandvik. Loses a big chunk of time. That sees Sandvik into second, Reed off the podium, which means Joshua Sturm down to third position. And Oscar Sandvik, great turns through the middle, really nice flow, but they're just too direct. A lot of pressure at the end of the turn, yeah, chattering around. It's such a compact snow surface, it really is. 8 left to go. Hannes Zengele next on course. Bib 28 found himself in 8th position, 0.21, the advantage he holds over Roengren, who leads in the finish area. Oh no, Zengele onto his inside, just about manages to get back, but he's late and inside and late again. And that is his chances of leading disappeared. One error compounded into 3 gates of tricky skiing, and now over a second behind, and the woes aren't stopping there. More times losing his outside ski. Wouldn't be surprised if this ends with a did not finish, because unfortunately for Zengele, had high hopes on moving up the order rather than down the order from Bib 28 into the top 10 on the first round. He's going to go back down towards where he started. And again, really finding it difficult to get any sort of rhythm and flow is Zengele. Oh, he would love to have this run all over again. And he lost more time at 3.3. That's going to see him go a long, long way down. That's going to be right towards the bottom of this second run list, unfortunately, for Zengele, because he's had difficulties top to bottom, 4.5 seconds behind, and a run of trouble. And it started here. Inside, just about gets it back, but then those errors compounded gate after gate after gate. 7th after the first run, Alexi Obed Serracanta from the Spanish team, half a second. Nice advantage at the top. Slightly cautious into that first of the steep turns, and that cautious nature continues. Realised all of a sudden he's got to commit a bit more to those steeper turns. But again, surely giving away a lot of time in those opening gates. Roengren was really aggressive, really charged, and Robert Serracanta. Now getting into the run, now turning it on. But he's lost nearly half a second. He's going to continue to lose time here. Half a second behind. Needs to try and chip away from here on in, really. That's a nice early switch, but then doesn't quite finish the turn off enough. Oh, that was a lovely turn that he managed to snap off. Let's see if he can find something. Found a few hundredths of a second, 0.49. The top four separated by 0.4. Is there time to be found for Ubas Serracanta? Through these last couple of turns, he tries to chip his way up and move himself onto a podium. Can he find any time? No. Only loses a couple of hundredths, but that's enough to see him down into 5th position. Sturm still in 3rd. Reed still hangs on to 4th position. And Aubert Serracanta of the Spanish team into 5th position with 6 to go. Adri Schwantin next on course for the Swiss team. Points on the board in World Cup so far this season and throughout the last couple of seasons. Really wants to try and put down a huge performance. That is some great skiing in these early turns. He's got 0.51 of an advantage over Roengren through at the top of this run. And wouldn't be surprised if that is built on here, because that was some really nice skiing. But can he at least be close? He's not managed to find time, but 0.3 still the advantage that Schwantin has over Roengren. Roengren's led for a few races now. The advantage at the top starting to get sizable again, trying to find some speed in those middle turns. These were the turns where we saw a little bit left to be desired from the Swede. Can Schwantin unlock the rolls through the midsection? No, he can't. He's lost another 0.3 of a second. 200ths now behind. Needs full commitment, full risk. 1600ths of a second again, just bleeding time again. Finds himself with a lot of work to do. Gets pushed onto the heel. Let's see what Schwantin can do through these last couple. Needs to find an 1600ths of a second, but missed it. 0.39, slots himself into 3rd. That sees Joshua Sturm finally off of that leader's chairlift. And we are now with 5 to go. And it is Roengren that is in the lead, Sandvik in 2nd, and Schwantin in 3rd. 5 to go. Lovren Paran next on course. He has 0.53, the advantage that Paran holds. Whoa, living dangerously in these top turns. What you need to do, though, you need to keep that risk factor up as Paran now down onto these rolling flats. He's the commitment on these right-footed turns. 0.38, lost a little bit of time, still got a good advantage. So these are the turns where you need to really stand on them. Fall away on the red gates. He comes round, releases the ski onto the flat turns. Nips in and out of his tucks, trying to stay aerodynamic. Lost another 0.08 of a second, though, still 0.3 ahead. Plays calm over the roll. Oh, lovely turn. We've seen some ripper turns in this final pitch. Still got 0.24 of a second. Slight errors, but lovely and committed when he does go to the ski, but it's taken him a bit of time to get to it. As Paran, more drifts on the steep section. Is that going to prove costly? Big drifts. Can he get the better of Roengren? Misses it. 0.08 of a second. Too much caution in that final pitch. Sees him slot down to 2nd. Roengren with a great lower part of the run. And Paran couldn't keep it clean enough. The Frenchman into 2nd position with 4 to go. Some good skiing from top to bottom. Apart from 4 or 5 turns at the bottom. Tobias Kasslander, nearly 0.6. His advantage over Roengren that still leads here in the finish area. And Kasslander got pedigree here. Probably the guy that's put in the most points on the World Cup tour so far this season. The guy coming into this one, you'd have to say, the best known name on the giant slalom starters today. What's he got left? Hasn't looked as smooth. finds himself, 500ths of a second up, having given away over half a second of an advantage. Can't afford to give away any more time, really, can he? Needs to turn the afterburners on from here on in. 1400ths of a second. Needs to try and find something. Comes over that final roll. Looks like he's got a bit more intensity about the skiing, but coming towards these steep turns. High line as he comes over. He's found a little bit of time. Still got work to do. 300ths of a second behind with these last few turns. Going quite direct. Is he been able to carry enough speed from turn to turn? Looks like he's released the ski nice and early, but has he been able to find any time? Into second position. Oh, sorry, no, into fourth position. Roengren, Parand, and Sandvik, still the 1, 2, 3 with 3 to go. He gave away, Kastlinger gave away too much time at the top and a very healthy advantage. Couldn't quite find those rhythm in the early turns. And 2/10 behind. There's your last man, or there's the fastest man, not the last man standing, because we've still got races after him in the European Cup Tour. Back to third after the first run. Erik Solberg, 0.62, the advantage that he holds over our leader, Matthias Roengren. Put down an absolute flyer on the second run. Parand and Sandvik, the 1, 2, 3. As Solberg, some good skiing early on. Has he been able to build on that advantage? Well, he has by 100th of a second. Look at that, still a lot of time in his pocket. Very calm, very relaxed through these middle turns, staying high in the racing line as well. And working well over the terrain. Look how hard the legs are working to try and make sure that ski and snow contact is kept. And he's only lost 400ths of a second through here. Solberg, really tidy run from the Norwegian. And very cleanly over this roll. This is looking very good. Next time intermediate. Should still be a big green light. Over 6/10. 0.64, good skiing, has to keep the pressure on the outside ski. It's been almost faultless from Solberg from top to bottom and letting it run out. Surely the lead by a decent margin as well. 0.37, Solberg leads with 2 to go. Great to see. What a good second run charge. Super relaxed, tall on the ski, nice and aggressive at the top of the turn. Solberg pushes Roengren down to second. Parand down to third for the French team. 2 to go. Solberg leads. Elise Canafanara for the French team. 100th of a second. The difference between Solberg and this man, between third and second after the first run. Elise Canafanara can't afford to do anything other than charge from top to bottom. That's a totally different start. A lot more energy in his skiing, but scrappy. Solberg, smooth, silky smooth from top to bottom. Elise Canafanara certainly with a bit more of an energetic style, and at the moment, Canafarina has some work to do. 0.35 behind. Good work over the rolls. But the time getting away from him, that's a long way down. As Elise Canafanara hasn't been able to match just the speed across the snow that we saw from Solberg. And surely that's too far to come back, and it's going the wrong way. Roengren and Parand at the moment safe on the podium because Elise Canafarina, has had a tough time on the second run. He's going to drop down the order and into 14th, from second to 14th. Ouch. Quickest after the first run, Andrei Drukarov of Lithuania. In the start gate, provisional podium, Solberg, Roengren and Parand. That is the 1, 2, 3 with the quickest man after the first run now on course. He had 1700ths of a second, his advantage over our leader as he comes over these first turns. We know that he's got a lot of power, a lot of strength in the legs, but he is late in the line as he comes through those steep turns. The timing, just a little bit of miss. Everything happening after the gate, and surely that's going to prove costly. It is dead level. It's cost him 1700ths of a second. Won back in turnout, 24th of January on the European Cup Tour. He's been 3 times in the points on World Cup with a PB of 23rd in Alta Badia a couple of seasons ago. 0.27 now, quarter of a second behind. Oh, and he's late. Errors creeping in from Drukarov. Has to cut the line. Needs all of his power, but it's disappearing. The errors creeping in. Maybe the pressure getting to the Lithuanian. Oh, now 0.38 behind the podium. 0.37 and 0.45. Parand in third. Can he find something? Surely the win has gone. Soldeu surely going to pick up the victory on the European Cup Tour in Soldeu. But what's Drukarov going to do? Drukarov charging to the line, but he's gone into 5th position. That sees Erik Solberg surely victorious here. Matthias Roengren with a huge second run. It moves up 8 spots into 2nd position. And Parand of France, your 1, 2, 3. Solberg from bib 16 into a very, very good victory on the World Cup, on the European Cup Tour. Solberg flew so smooth, so relaxed from top to bottom, and that was the real calling card for Erik Solberg. No points against his name on the giant slalom skis on the World Cup Tour. But he's picked up points in slalom before. European Cup Tour, he was 10th back in Zinal early season, 9th in Tresol at the end of last season. Never been on a European Cup giant slalom podium. Just looking down the order, he's won European Cups in slalom, but never on a GS European Cup podium by my reckoning. And I think this is going to be his first podium, and he's going straight to the top. Good for him. Great skiing. And that looks like it is going to be his first ever European Cup podium. It is going to be his first European Cup podium in giant slalom. He's only been in the top 10 4 times in his career. So great stuff.
Je pense que Allemand il skie comme le ski le haut dans la pente, il est juste. Ça remonte un petit peu, mais c'est moins gênant.
Well, there you go, and a confirmation of Erik Hysad Solberg's first ever European Cup victory. He did it in style, really clean skiing on that second run, silky smooth from top to bottom, really. Matthias Roengren, great performance from him, moved up 8 places on that second run to pick up second, and Lovren Parand of the French team rounding out the top 3. Still races to come on this. We're going to hear from Matthias Roengren right now. That's good to hear.
I feel tired.
Right now.
Yeah, it was a tiring run. It's a long course and challenging. But I felt that I managed each section quite well, so it's nice to get away with the win.
A lot of guys couldn't make it, so it makes you prouder.
Yeah, also. Yeah, and to see so many guys struggle in the first run also. And then, yeah, it's nice to get away with the win.
Okay, now can you say the same in your own language, please? Yes, like how do you feel? Congratulations.
Ja, deilig å stikke av med seieren. Det var en lang løype, tøff løype. Jeg følte kom meg ned uten store problemer, så det var digg.
We need to race, you know. Who said that?
Flower ceremony is no interview.
Yeah, now we continue.
Clear, seat at the start. Number 26 ready.
Well, the racing is going to continue. We've got another 20 races still to go down, but they all start with a disadvantage because that's how it works in European Cup. You still get up to 60, but we only had 50 finishes after the first run. So now it's about these guys. It's an outside shot. It's really tough because this man, Francesco Zucchini, was only 200ths behind his teammate Battisti, who went down first on the second run. Battisti had a torrid time and ended up finishing at 5.23 behind. And with that in a clean course, and Zucchini is going to have to try and find something. And the points are on the offer. That's what these guys are trying to find. But Ford did not finish us on the second run, so definitely there are obviously points available. And every racer has more of a disadvantage. That's how it works across this one. And their start intervals very quick as well. 3.21. That should see it. That could end up being a top 25 as we see him come down these last three turns. 3.21. The difference that last intermediate. Well, he gets the better of his teammate who was 200ths of a second in front of him, but he made big mistakes. Zucchini with a good run into the points. As we see Matteo Fehr, former World Cup winner, former world champion in giant slalom. Good to see him really trying to find that form. Good bit of determination. He's not done the ski racing yet, but so difficult when you've been right at the pinnacle. Oh, we only lost a tenth of a second between intermediate 1 and intermediate 2. And where's he going to go into? Points on the board. But when you've had World Championship victories, points on the board is not what you're here for, really. Favour into 25th position, moves up a place over Zucchini, who had a better time. Toscano next on course from 29 from bib number, found himself outside the list on these early parts of the second run. Course holding up. It held up all the way through the first run. Really good conditions, nice and cold. The hill is in perfect condition still. Yes, some judder ruts around, but really, really good. The hill here is absolutely fantastic. Toscano having a couple of difficulties on his way down here, not finding it easy at all, and finds himself into the points at the moment. 27th, 4.4 behind. Back to the top for Giskas, now the Norwegian. 2.5 seconds off at the top. Now 2.8 off at the first time intermediate. Still points available. And the chance to squeeze yourself up into the points got to be, you'd say, probably under 4 seconds. At the end of it, we'll walk away with points. Into view of the finish area. Big twist, big mistake from bib 57. It would be still great if he could walk away with a couple of points. 3.39 at that last intermediate. What's he going to end up at as he comes down towards the bottom? And 27th, 4.03 could be enough for points today. Raphael Reiderer of the Austrian team, as we see him exit the course, not having a good time with things today. The only Austrian that can count this as a good day, Joshua Stern, from bib 40 into 8th position, top 10 for him. The Austrian set the course on the second run. Jakob Eister next, on course. 58. Another racer that could walk away with points. The advantage or the disadvantage he's got nearly 3 seconds. You think under 4.5, well, under 4 really. It's going to guarantee you points. So tough. You can only lose a second against Soldeu's time. That's going to be a tough target. But the Austrians will be hoping the fact that they've set this course gives them an opportunity. A bit of inside knowledge, but he's lost another 9/10 between the start. Well, he lost basically the second, 0.92. He lost between the start and intermediate number 1. Losing a bit more time down towards the bottom. Trying to ski solid, try and take some good feelings out of this one. 30th position in the points at the moment, but trying to take some good feelings from this into tomorrow. Uro Torvinen, next on course, 50 on the first run. He was 37th at the end of the first run. See how he gets on this next intermediate, 3.4. Well, 3.6, pretty decent. Again, looking for anything around the 4 seconds. That's got to pass yourself as a good day in the office and points on the board. The reward for some good skiing through the closing turns on this hill. 3.6, 4.03. The top 30 points are 5.27, but anything under 4.4, you say probably got yourself some points guaranteed. And across the line, 4.12. That'll be some points into 28th position for the Finn. William Saint-Germain started his first World Cup over in Schladming after plenty of injuries and didn't get to grips with this course on the first run. And looks like again the hill, so much technical skiing in this hill. .63, probably outside the time for points, and we're now looking at 4.92. They can only lose 200. It's not going to happen with a couple of mistakes creeping in, as we see Saint-Germain having a tough time on the hill. It's going to take something really special from his later starters to get some points today. Not to be though for Saint-Germain, and finds himself 33rd, 6.13 back. Well, the Austrian out. Another bad day for the Austrian team. Alessandro Pizzazzo next on course. Here comes Alessandro Pizzio. What was he? 40th off the first, 3.5 seconds off. Still the the chance for a couple of points if you can really smash your way down this run, but it's so tricky. Well, Pizio having a tough time again, looking to try and somehow battle his way down to some points, but it's such a tough chance for these later starters because we start off with a big deficit into 32nd, 5.3 back, still just under 5 seconds, 4.92. That's the time you need to get some points. Well, 4.03 at that top intermediate. Now, what's he going to go down to? What's the second one saying? And any chance? Oh, 5.02 now. We've got a few more races to go. Hoyder is going to miss it. Yeah, sorry, Hughes misses it. Down into 34th, 5.86 behind. Back up to the top. Fabio Alancina, 68, really tough and very late in the line. Pulls the pin. Still got 7 or 8 to go. Kilian Pramstaller next up, 43rd after the first run. Still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the 8th racer. See what Pramstaller can do. The Austrian to set this course needs to find some form. It's about trying to find some feeling, try and unlock a bit more about this racetrack. Racing here again tomorrow for the athletes to try and find a bit of confidence, really, to be able to take that fight into tomorrow. Just a bit more time, not too bad considering. He had 3.76 out to 4.5. I think under 5 at this next split gives him a chance. It's a tall chance. It's an outside chance. 5.06. Well, smooth skiing. But smooth skiing doesn't always get the reward. Hannes Zingerle, the last point on the board as we see Lewis Mullen-Schultz, 3.88 off on the top split, then down to 4.63. That's a nice switch. Snow conditions still absolutely fantastic. Look at that. Really a mark. Yes, there'll be some judders. Certainly, of course, there will be, especially on the steep. Some great conditions in which to work with. Lewis not really getting the perfect first run from decent bib on the first run, then backwards, which is always frustrating. But we'll be hoping this run as a bit of a recce mission for run number 1 tomorrow, using this one as a bit of a way to try and find something, and that's not the confidence builder he was hoping for. Ends with a did not finish. Another did not finish for Senhofer, German. 45th after the first run.
Julie, please take away the clock now, and Santi will give a course here.
And as Aman next in the gate, Aman, then Woodbridge, then Gutierrez, then Calvo Santos, and then Emil Barr. Next will be the last man standing. And it's Aman next on course then, 55. Going through the top turns. These are the toughest turns. They've gone from, we had a bit of sunshine on those, but the sun on its way down after 10 past 2 in the afternoon. There's a section between those two intermediates from Aman, and then out, the one down and out. Hollywood Bridge next into the gate, 47th after the first run from bib 65. It was a tough time. Didn't enjoy the hill or the ice on the first run. Can he find something different with the setup of the ski? Again, another racer will be his binding fluid disintegrated off his ski there. Toe piece going flying. That is well. We're trying to change the bindings and checking all the screws on the rest of his equipment because that toe piece just disintegrated. Yes, I mean it is ratty obviously through there, but the force is ripping the toe piece off the binding. 3 to go. Ski's okay. They'll pick up the bits and pieces of binding that are left. But the technicians, well, they don't all have technicians either, so it could be a Woodbridge that will need to keep an eye on those, the rest of his equipment. The coaches will be checking those, that is for sure. But Gabriel Gutierrez, 3 to go, and took first of the 2 Andorrans. That's not bad skiing through the top couple of gates there, nice and aggressive. Basically 5 seconds off from that top split, losing, how much time does he lose? Probably around a second, about a second, there you go. Not bad. Wow, cutting the line late. Still in the fight, still in the second run. Again, another racer, experience. He knows the hill, experience on the snow. He knows the snow, just getting used to European Cup performances. .77 these last few races going through the motions. Eight seconds off them for Gabriel Gutierrez. 2 to go, and an Andorran and a Frenchman left to tackle this one.
Vamos, Alba, con convicción. Vamos, vamos.
Good skiing through those top turns for Calvo Santos. Yeah, not bad. Bad positioning on the gates either. Yeah. Take some confidence from this type of skiing. Oh, then just momentarily too far on the inside ski and down and out. So brutal as it ended for the flash. Last racer then. in the start gate, Emil Bauer. Here he is, 50th after the first run, and a couple of errors that he'll be hoping to cut out again, giving him a bit more of an opportunity in which to build and find something for the second run. Very direct. The ruts definitely make it difficult in these opening turns. Lots of hip angle. A lot of counter rotation into these turns as well. And that counter definitely not really helping, unfortunately. Working over this bit of terrain again, just getting more in tune with this hill. Loses another second half or so. And as he tries to get himself through to the finish, getting himself some experience. Hannes Zengele, 30th position, not in any danger of being pushed outside the points. As we see Bauer now, last few turns on the steep. Oh, catapulted to the heels. Has he been able to stay in the course? Just about some, well, nothing else. He's got great grit and determination and into the finish line. A little further away off the pace than he would have hoped. That brings us to the conclusion of this first race here in Andorra, and Erik Syed Soldeu picking up his first ever World Cup podium, and he's gone straight to the top step with it. And good to see him with a huge second run, really good. Roangren is second best result of his career. In second place, he's matched that. He's had a couple of seconds throughout his career. And then Parand, another second, his PB is second. So he's got podiums before, but not since 2022. So he's showing good form at this time of the season. As we take a look down the order, last person to pick up any points was Zengele, 30th position. Great skiing, great second run from our winner. Lovren Parand in second. That's Matthias Roengren. Very, very quick on that second run. Huge performance, in fact. He was fifth, Roengren was on that second run, but the man walking away with all the spoils, Erik Stolberg. Great to see him pick up his first ever World Cup, European Cup podium. Top step as well. What a great day in the office for the Norwegian. Oscar Sandvik, fourth with him. Drukarov led after the first run, down into fifth position. Joshua Stern moved up 14 spots from bib 40 into the top 10. And that's how things have changed. Hakeler failed to finish on the first run. Roengren now the closest challenger in second position. And then Drukarov into third position. The difference between first and second, only 43 points. Drukarov with inside 50, and everything just concertinaing nicely. Now we've got 10 within 100 points, shaping up very, very nicely indeed. Overall standings, Felix Hacker still on top with the great form that he's been showing in the speed disciplines. But And these athletes will have a little bit of a focus on. They'll be certainly concentrating on their own performances in their disciplines. Won't have too much of an eye on the European Cup standings overall, but we're hoping that they can find something special. It's difficult, the European Cup Tour, because the best guys dip in and out of it. They drop into World Cup, they miss a couple of European Cups, and all of a sudden your points can disappear very quickly in terms of your standings.
Going down the order is bringing you all the information here.
Going to bring you some interviews now. Great to see after what has been a very, very entertaining first day of racing here. Let's see what Paran
Thank you. First, thanks a lot. It's an amazing preparation, slope, conditions, context. Everything here is just amazing. We really feel like consider like World Cup guys. The slope is really nice, really amazing. The preparation is close to be perfect. We are really lucky with the weather, and yeah, today everything is good to do a good race and to feel like some good racer, and it's so nice.
Thank you. Okay. Now you are Swedish?
I'm French.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat in French?
Yeah, no problem.
Ton explication et
Ok. Ouais, aujourd'hui, vraiment, c'est une journée magnifique. On peut pas être mieux accueilli en Andorre que sur ces courses. Tout est nickel. La piste, c'est une piste de Coupe du Monde et on le sent. La difficulté est là, mais la préparation de la piste est aussi magnifique. On a rarement vu en Coupe d'Europe, voire jamais, autant de on est si bel accueil, autant de préparation et de considération envers les athlètes pour une course. C'est juste magnifique. Donc merci beaucoup à tout le monde en Andorre. C'est génial.
Issues at the start, Jim.
Thanks. Yeah, it was pretty tough actually. It was a demanding slope and tough conditions, so a bit tired, but super fun race here.
a lot of guys couldn't make it, so it makes it even better. Like, well, getting second today, like it was so demanding.
Yeah, it was. I was on inspection. It looked like tough, but it was a little bit more difficult than I was expecting. So it's a good slope and amazing preparation of the organization here. So yeah, no, it feels good. One day tomorrow again to go again.
Now, same in Swedish?
Oh, in Swedish?
Yeah, in your language, just the same. How do you feel, and congratulations. So.
Oh ja. Ja, men det var grymt kul att få tävla här. Förhållandena har varit grymma och försökte köra på det jag kunde. Och det var bra race och ja, men framförallt extremt bra preparerat av organisationen. Och sen så är det en tuff backe. Det var många som körde ut, så det gällde att pusha och försöka attackera hela vägen.
I feel tired.
Right now.
Yeah, it was a tiring run. It's a long course and challenging. But I felt that I managed this section quite well, so it's nice to get away with the win.
A lot of guys couldn't make it, so it makes you prouder.
Yeah, also. Yeah, and to see so many guys struggle in the first run also. And then, yeah, it's nice to get away with the win.
Okay, now can you say the same in your own language, please? Yes, like how do you feel? Congratulations.
Ja, deilig å stikke av med seieren. Det var en lang løype, tøff løype. Jeg følte kom meg ned uten store problemer, så det var digg.
Well, good to hear from the guys what they made it today. Yeah, tough conditions, very, very good conditions here. The pieces you heard from Lovren Perrin, it's been perfect. It is as good as it gets. Very well looked after. Lots going on that hill, and tomorrow is going to be another classic battle. Look at it; it's just been absolutely perfect. And Soldeu managing to get the best of everybody else by 0.37. Parand in third, 0.45 behind. Some good performances and some good points scored today. Some great skiing, and that will give everybody confidence moving forward. Well, here we go with the prize giving for the first day here in Soldeu for this European Cup. The athletes have made their way onto the podium positions. Great to see. We're going to bring you this. It's been a good day. 73 racers all started the day with hopes of big performances. And these are the guys that have managed to get onto the podium, get onto the stage here. Top 5 we bring up onto the podium.
Senyores i senyors, benvinguts a la cerimònia oficial de lliurament de premis als 5 primers classificats i al primer classificat en categoria júnior de la cursa de la Copa Europa d'Esquí Alpí FIS Andorra 2025 en la modalitat de slalom de gamma masculí Z en el dia d'avui. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the official prize giving ceremony honoring the top 5 racers and the first junior racer of the Andorra 2025 FIS European Cup Men's Giant Slalom race held today. En cinquè lloc, representant Lituània, in fifth place, representing Lithuania, Andrei Drukarov!
Drukarov picking up 5th position, led off the first run. Couldn't quite convert that into a victory. That is Oscar Andres Sandvik. Good run from him in the end. Lovre Perand back onto a European Cup podium. He hasn't been on a podium since 2022, so great to see. Very complimentary about this hill, about this race. Matthias Roengren, great second run charge. Saw him move up the order 8 places to finish in second position. Tied with his PB that he picked up earlier on this season. But the man that's on the top step, the man that's picked up his first ever European Cup podium, he's gone straight to the top step. It is Erik Heisad Solberg by 0.37. Stylish ski. Very, very good indeed.
Racer will be presented by David Hidalgo, Chief Executive Officer of the organizing committee. And that's the winner of the fifth place, Andrei Drukarov! Tot seguit en la presentació del patrocinador del trofeu al quart classificat, la senyora Núria Roca, directora de Comunicació Corporativa Màrqueting i nous canals de Crean. And now representing the sponsor Crean, the Great Andorra, the trophy for the fourth classified racer will be presented by Núria Roca, Director of Corporate Communications, Marketing and New Channels at Crean. Put your hands together for Oscar Andreas Sandvik! I en representació de la Federació Andorrana d'Esquí farà el lliurament del trofeu al tercer classificat el senyor Jordi Ferrer. And now, representing the Andorran Ski Federation, the trophy to the third classified racer will be presented by Mr. Jordi Ferrer. Put your hands together for Levan Palan! I en representació de l'honorable Comú de Canillo farà el jurament del trofeu al segon classificat, l'honorable senyor Jordi Alcover, mayor de la parròquia de Canillo. And now representing the Canillo Parish, the trophy to the second classified racer will be presented by Mr. Jordi Alcover, mayor of the parish of Canillo. Put your hands together for Matías Rangren! I en representació del govern d'Andorra farà el lliurament del trofeu al guanyador l'il·lustre senyor Alain Cabanes, secretari d'Estat d'Esports. And now, representing the Andorra government, the trophy for the winning racer will be presented by Mr. Alain Cabanes, Secretary of State for Sports at the Andorran government. Put your hands together for the winner, Eirik Histad Solver! I ara representant el comitè organitzador farà el lliurament del trofeu al primer classificat júnior, Marc Mitjana, secretari general del comitè organitzador. And now, representing the local organizing committee, the trophy for the first racer in the junior class will be presented by Marc Mitjana, secretary general of the organizing committee. And the trophy goes for Oscar Andreas Zandberg! I a continuació, en honor del guanyador absolut de la cursa d'avui, sonarà l'himne nacional de Noruega. And now, honoring today's race winner, the national anthem of Norway. Solver winning Andorra this first day of the Copa Europa Cup in Soldeu, Andorra. Victòria per Eirik Solberg. I ara els atletes rebran un obsequi del comitè organitzador d'aquesta Copa Europa. Now, a special gift from the organizing committee. I ja tot a punt per la celebració now de Stamp and Play with the top 5 racers in today's race. Eirik Solberg, first podium of the season, first win. Matías Rangren, second podium finish in this 2025 Europa Cup. They van Palan, the first podium so far this season, and Oscar Andreas Zandberg and Andrei Trucado drinking position 4 and position 5. L'enhorabona als 5 milions de la cursa d'avui. La victòria per Eirik Solberg. La victòria de la temporada pel noruec. Matías Rangren, que repeteix el podi. Lo van parant que també puja per primera vegada al podi d'aquesta Copa d'Europa. A tots, felicitats. L'enhorabona. Congratulations for the top 5 racers.
Well, that brings us to the end of our coverage here. Congratulations to Solberg, his first ever European Cup win, first ever European Cup trophy for Solberg. Great to see the double here for the racing tomorrow. Williams, Tom Paran,
think some quality racing on that hill that is, really, really classic. So that's all we've got time for. Until next time.